Hello, and welcome back to Solera Elevate Blueprint Podcast, where we talk with leaders in recruiting, HR, talent acquisition, all about using AI in a way that protects culture, strengthens trust, and really keeps the human at the center of our work. So today, I'm very happy to say I'm joined by Cindy Hook. Cindy has spent more than 2 decades in recruiting, has lived through every major shift in the industry, from pre-LinkedIn to the current AI wave, and she's built a reputation for really doing what many have forgotten, building real relationships based on recruiting that actually works. She's also the author of a book built from 25 years of hard-earned lessons. She's known for using video to actually bring humanity back into her outreach. So we're going to talk today about why recruiting cannot be reduced to job posts and automation, and how video helps rebuild trust, and where AI can really support the work without replacing the human connection. And Cindy, I'm so glad you're here. Let's start right now with what you're seeing that's most concerning in the recruiting world at the moment.
Well, thank you for having me. See, that is most concerning today is the post and pray method, right? Is just not working. That is a huge problem. The post and pray method is discouraging talent to apply. So the other thing that I'm seeing in the market is AI. There's a bunch of names right now. They'll apply for you automatically if it has a keywords of this, this, and this. The bottleneck, like, they are applying to jobs that don't make sense. So it's this catastrophe that's happening, and then I get calls and hiring managers, top leaders, and CEOs. I can't find people, Cindy. Well, stop posting and praying. If you're looking for top talent, you need to hunt them. There's no authenticity in posting and praying. They don't understand your brand because you're writing a job description and, oh, this is a little blurb about my brand. You need a cheerleader. You need someone in your corner who can explain the brand, trust the brand, and bring that authenticity. That is the biggest problem I see in today's market.
There's something that you made. I can see where that would be something, and it used to be called headhunting. You're actually hunting for the right talent. And now, I mean, a lot of the wording is talent acquisition.
I like to explain that if you don't mind.
Sure.
I think there is a difference between talent acquisition, recruiting, and headhunting. Okay. Talent acquisition, posts, they wait for the people to come to them. Sure. Same with recruiting. That's usually in-house. Recruiting. That to me, a recruiter and a talent acquisition, they're in-house. Agency is headhunting. Okay. Headhunting. We're actually going out and finding those leaders that will fit the job. That to me is the difference. And I've sat on both sides of the house. I've owned my own agency for years. I've also worked internally. And internally, they just posted and waited for the resumes. To me, it was more of an admin job. We waited. I worked for one company years ago, an insurance company. We're talking back 2010. And I worked internally for them, and they told me I was not allowed to go out and hunt. And now, can I tell you, I did not last very long. I was like, this is so boring. That's why I say I think there's a huge difference between headhunting, talent acquisition, and recruiting.
I think that's a really good point. I'm glad you brought that up, because I think that there's some people out there that, you know, and including me, I probably wouldn't have looked at it that way either. So I appreciate those points. So tell me, what's the most significant success that you've had in your firm, whether it's been driven by technology or just you and your pure human strategy?
It's my human strategy. I really think I've had to pivot throughout my 26 years doing this. What's working today? What's not working? And everything stems back to that human connection, building relationships, letting people know who I am, how I work. Even whether it's a candidate or a client, like, listen, tell me about yourself. Like, going back to, like, I remember that you had some kids that, were in college. How are they doing today? Those kinds of things is how I have been successful this long. I mean,
what I'm hearing you say is that valuing people, what they're about, maybe taking some notes, really remembering them so that they may not be the right candidate for now, but they might be a candidate for something in the future. And if all you had was a resume or some data, you're not going to find them as quickly. Yeah, valuing humans, right?
And I have access because of my relationship building skills. Example, I placed a candidate 5 years ago. She just reached out to me, Cindy, I'm ready again. Let's talk. So today we have a conversation.
She would not have reached out to you if she didn't feel valued by you. We're in this world of AI. Now, some of us, you included, have been using AI for a while now. Talk to me a little bit about how you use it responsibly in your business, because clearly here at Solera Elevate, our goal is to keep the human in all of this. Clearly that's your goal too. So how you do use AI?
So a couple things. Well, one, we obviously use it for writing. We want to make sure our writing makes sense, right? So we use it for writing. We also use it for presentations for our clients. We also use AI, say if we have a VP of sales and marketing for a client of ours, we will go and use some software that will map the market, and it will pull up, give us a list of those client or those candidates as a starting point. Okay. So we can start there. Now, some of the tools that you use, they're not perfect. So they'll go out and miss, and we have to go back and do some manual work. But at least it gives us a starting point of, 25 really good, solid leads.
What AI has done for you has made more efficient, saved you time. What are you seeing, human resource, talent acquisition, headhunting arena? What are you seeing in your circles?
Well, they're using it on the talent acquisition side. They're using AI to screen out people that could be right for the job. If they don't have these keywords, I don't want to see them. Or if they have the title VP of operations, I don't want to see them, right? Even though that, titles today could be anything, it's just a title, right? I feel like the AI part of that in the talent acquisition is really hurting the industry.
But from what I've seen in some of the AI that's happening now is that process has gotten better. It's able to be a little more selective rather than the old process of just keyword hunting. But what you're saying is you feel like even though the AI can be more descriptive, can really get more detailed on the resume, you feel like that's gotten worse?
Yeah, I do. You have to go back and keep tweaking your sequences. Years ago, there was no such thing as director of people and culture. There wasn't a post, right? And so if we're missing those titles and those people, you're not attracting those top talent. Chief sales officer just became like in the last 3 years. There was no such thing as a chief sales officer.
You and I are users of AI. We know as good as what you teach it. I think that's a huge part of this learning curve, is that people have to learn how to utilize AI. And I think there's a lot of people think they can just use a software and the software is so knowledgeable that they can just plug, and they're going to get the results they want. And they're not realizing that there's a process in how you have to teach the software in order to go. And I think maybe that's a huge piece of why we're missing the right people.
I 100% agree, and I'll give you my example. I wanted to go over to Gemini from ChatGPT. Okay. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you how many times I tried to train Gemini, write like ChatGPT, these are my examples. This is I gave him like 15 examples. Gemini could not fit it out.
Let me ask this. I'm just curious. From why did you want to switch? What was your intention?
Because Gemini's Google, and Google's obviously bigger than OpenAI and ChatGPT. So I was like, well, they probably have maybe some better knowledge. How many times can I tell you, Gemini, this is exactly what I want? No, write in this style. No, write in this style. I was like, listen, I'm done. Give me my money back.
Let me ask you this. You've got a business. Clearly, you've been doing this for a minute. You've even written a book about it. Talk to me a little bit about your book. Tell me the name of it, where people can find it.
I wrote this book. It's 25 years of what I've seen the industry, the ups and downs, pre-LinkedIn, after LinkedIn, automations. It's called Confessions of the Headhunter by Cindy Hook, and it's on Amazon. It highlights the years of experience, and it gives case studies, it gives examples of what I've gone through over the 25 years. When I started pre-LinkedIn, I sat in the bullpen of 25 recruiters. We dial for dollars, right? That's what we did. We met people out for coffee. It was that recruiting back then was hard, but it was also more human centric. That you have to pick up the phone, you have to send a video. Actually, when I leave messages, I always say, I'm apologizing, I'm babbling, I know, but at least you know I'm real.
Yeah. Well, you know, as well as I do, sometimes these emails that we get, they throw anything with a link to spam. Mm-hmm. How do you get through that when you're sending videos to everyone and you're not just hitting their spam box?
Couple things. One, we try to connect with them on LinkedIn, and then you can send the video through Messenger.
That makes sense.
The other way is we call them and say, hey, listen, love to tell you about this VP of sales role. I do have a video about it. Do you mind if I text it to you? So that's how we get around it.
Very smart. Well, I'm excited for people to get your book, but also tell them where they can find you.
And you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm all over LinkedIn. I post every single day. I've actually booked 2 calls this week from my content. Great. If you're being lazy about content, now is the time to start doing it. And you can find me on my website, www.lsrecruiters.com. You can book a call with me there.
The core message that I'm taking away today, simply, powerfully, recruiting is built on trust. It's built on relationships, and we lose the entire point of all of real human goals when we try to reduce things just to posting, and as you called it, posting and praying. However, there is a place for automation, yes, and we just have to make sure that it's used responsibly, I should say. I really appreciate you being here with us today. I appreciate you sharing all this knowledge, these 25 years, and I hope people will go and check out your book and check out your website and really look to see what you can do for them, because clearly you've got the experience to find people what they need. Okay. I have one more question. This is what I like to ask at the end of every podcast. So Cindy Hook 10 years ago, if you could go back and just tell her something that you've learned in these last 10 years, that somebody else is sitting out there and they're going, oh my gosh, like I'm 10 years behind Cindy. What am I looking at? What do I want to do? What's your best piece of advice?
I did a year ago, right? I got myself a younger mentor. And because I did not know the technology, right? I did not know how, I didn't have that capacity. And then I hired somebody who understands that. So 10 years ago, if I could have just dropped that whole ego and got myself a mentor, I would have been in better shape. Well, I think I would have even been better off, because I had to take a year kind of to figure it out, right? I could kick myself for not doing it sooner.
Oh, that's a fabulous piece of advice. Thank you for sharing that. There's a lot of people that their ego gets in the way of them asking for help from a younger person. And so I think you just helped so many people. Thank you so much. That was a great answer. And we're so happy that you were here. We will be staying in touch, and I look forward to it. Thank you so much for being on Solera Elevates podcast. And we will see you guys again soon. Stay tuned for our next podcast. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.